guys? It's your girl Matt Cox here with MA Couture Crafting, and I am back with, yes, another 3-yard quilt video. This time we are working in Quick as a Wink, and oh, that's not a surprise because I just realized this one is my jam. This is the one that I seem to do all the time. This time we're working on Soho, and that's going to be the one down in the corner. It's the last pattern in this book. I don't know if this one is available outside of this book, but this is obviously, I think this book is the best book ever because I keep making quilts out of this book. And as I look at it, there are 2 more coming, so I will just about have done every quilt in this book. So, oh well, anyway, this is not the fastest pattern because you have to make some half square triangles. And with half square triangles, you have to square them up. So it takes a little bit of time, but not, you know, this is still a 1-day project for me. This was nothing. And I did the twin size. This particular quilt has to be the best color story I have ever told. It is just beautiful. I know I haven't been able to get the pictures right so that you can really see these purples because they keep coming up blue, and it is a blue purple, but it's just these purples with these oranges with these browns. Yeah, I said brown. Can you, oh my gosh, I use brown. When you think of me, that's probably the last color that comes to your mind, but it just works. And I am in love with it. This is a hard one to give up. I've made this probably about 2 weeks ago, whenever Mother's Day was, and I still haven't given it up yet because I just think it's so pretty. Now, you guys know that I like to piece my backs, which means I like to sew my backs together. So technically, most of my quilts are reversible because I like that the backs are really, really nice because what's touching your skin should be just as nice as what's on the outside. But I've gotten into these 108 backs, which makes my quilting go even faster. But they're not just any 108 backs. They are K-facet 108 backs. And so when I say 108, that's 108 inches, which means that I only have to sew one seam, if at all. Sometimes I don't even have to sew a seam because they're so long. And this one here are these beautiful greens and oranges. Oh, and it feels like it's a sateen. It doesn't feel like it is your typical cotton. And so it's soft and it's luxurious. And so I've done this twice now and I'm kind of liking it. And I know Tula Pink says that she has a nice, I think she has that sateen kind of finish on her 108 wide backs too. So maybe I'll start using 108s. I certainly have on this one and then the one that was before this. But all in all, guys, this is a great, beautiful pattern. It's appropriately named boho. No, Soho. Is it Soho or boho? It is appropriately named Soho, but it gives a total boho kind of vibe to it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love this color story. If you want to see how it comes together, please keep watching. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and subscribe. Give me all the comments. I love talking to you guys, and I respond very, very quickly. If you want to speak with me even faster, go on ahead and check out my Instagram. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Ooh, look at this. So pretty. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys me cutting these large squares. Look at how, I mean, yes, I realize that my cord is in the camera and it will be there for a few more moments, but I did want you guys to see how beautiful these big, huge flowers look. And I'm not fussy cutting them. I'm just letting them fall where they do, and it's not an issue at all. Now we've got these strips. So I've decided to use 2 different colors for that little funky snowball shape. And in order to do that, I needed to make strips in 2 different colorways, but you need to make sure that you keep the background the same. So the only thing that's changing is my fabric number 3 here. I'm using purple and orange. So a ton of half square triangles. I'm using my magic wand. That's that green thing there, which has a line that goes right down the center and then a 1/4 inch on either side. So I draw that line on every single one of these triangles. And I do the same thing for the other side. Yes, that is my mother bringing me food. I love that I go to her house to sew because that's one of the perks of being around your mommy all the time. She'll feed you. My mommy feeds me. So again, so we are doing just this line on either side, a 1/4 inch away from the center. Then I'm going to take it and layer it with the color right sides together. And I'm going to sew down on those lines, not away from those lines, but actually on the lines that I've sewn. After I'm finished, I'm cutting them apart because I don't break the threads. I just sew right down one side, then come back and sew on the other one. So then you split them in two. So you cut down on the diagonal. So you don't sew on the diagonal line, you cut on that very center line. Then I'm going to open it and press it. Don't push it. Just drop your iron on there. Do not do what I'm doing. Just drop your iron down on there because you don't want any distortion since you are working on the bias. I can see a little bow there. And that's a clapper, and I've just dropped it down there to make those seams nice and flat. I don't know that you should necessarily do that with these because it makes them almost so flat that they cannot be caught by the Bloc Loc Ruler, which is coming up next. Best ruler ever. I am about to square this puppy up and I will have a perfect 3.5 by 3.5 inch square. That center line locks onto the seams. And I'm telling you, if you are a notions person, or if you're not a notions person, once you start with these rulers, you're going to want them, period. These rulers they're worth it. I'm telling you. Bloc Loc Rulers. And I will leave a description to where you can get these in the description bar. So I'm squaring up. And now I have a perfect 3.5 inch by 3.5 inch half square triangle. Now with these strip sets, we need to cut them down. So I'm just going to take just a touch off the side just to square it up. Just a hair, just enough to get a nice clean edge. And we are going to sew them all together in just a moment. When I press this, I pressed those center seams outward. So I'm pressing my seams toward the orange, and that's going to help so that it all nests together. You'll see when I flip it over and put these together. So now I'm just doing a quick count to make sure I have an even number of the purple and the orange. And now it's time to assemble these blocks. See how flat that seam is? It's just, it's like it's just paper. You can't even feel the seam. Can't even feel it. Okay, so now I'm checking out the pattern, and what you do on the left-hand side, you do on the right, so it's not a big deal. And there's how you build it. Doesn't that come together cute? Oh, I love this block. So now we're just going to sew them all together, and I am going to press toward the center. The seams for this side right here, we're going to press toward the center. Toward the center. That way you're not fighting with all those seams going toward the half square triangle. And do the same exact thing on the other side because the seam in the center are pressed the opposite direction. See? Those seams are pressed toward the orange. They go out. And now I have nesting seams. And I just throw a little pin in there. You don't have to. You can feel it. But I don't know. I like to pin sometimes. And now when you open it up, it really doesn't matter which direction you press that seam. I prefer to press the seam toward those straighter blocks because when you start pressing towards half square triangles, you start to get some bulk. And the object of the game is for your quilt to lay as flat as it can, even though there are seams in there. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And all you do is build a bunch of those blocks, and then you're going to do the exact same thing for the purple. And then you just put it with the solids. It's such an easy, these 3-yard quilts make life so easy. So then you just one regular block, one pieced block, one regular block, one pieced block. And this is my quilt laid out before I sew the borders on. Oh, I love the pattern that this made. This was a good one. This might be my best one to date. Definitely my best 3-yard quilt to date for sure. And those are the borders. You guys, thank you so very much for hanging out with me. Please like, please leave me comments, and please subscribe. And I will talk to you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.